Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Ocean's Pit, the little show about big things. Hope you guys are having a great time today. I hope you had a great morning. And today is Friday, folks. That's Friday, May 8th, and the weekend is here. And what a way to end the week and kick into the weekend with my guest today coming up at about 12:15, my man, John Sirianni. He's an author. He's got over 730,000 followers on social media. He knows how to gamble. He knows how to have fun. And there's a lot of good stuff we're going to talk about, John. He was on the show when we first started 6 years ago. So Johnny will be joining us. But today is Friday, May 9th, and I hope you guys are getting everything ready to take care of Mom for Mother's Day, which is on Sunday. So it's very cool. Check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com. Give us a call at 847-769-8609 to book a show. Every show is dedicated to the first responders, the men and women in the military, our veterans who fought for our country, and mostly you wonderful people who take the time and watch the show. It's Ocean's Pit. Let's bring our good buddy Yes, it is what it is, guys. Happy Friday, May 8th. Woo! Weekend is here. We're having some fun. And you guys are coming to you live today on the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page. We're on the Mo Carraro Facebook page. We're on Ocean's Pit Facebook page. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And we're on YouTube, coming to you live on those wonderful social media outlets. And coming soon, Spotify and TikTok and more. So we're excited. And I'm having a great day. I want to thank you all for watching the show today. So let's get right to business. Our good friends from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Hey, short and punchy. Red hot buys, baby. Looking for the best deals in town? The JRC Ace Hardware. May red hot buys are here. Now through the end of the month, pick a 0G 50-foot garden hose for just $36.99, or that Spectracide Transicide lawn insect killer for only $7.99 with your Ace Rewards card. Need to clear some weeds? Roundup Concentrate is just $22.99. They have a free flag giveaway on Saturday for May 23rd to honor our veterans. High quality gear, helpful service, and great prices. That's JRC Ace Hardware. And guys, don't forget the Memorial Day yard prep. That's right. I'm here to tell you folks that they have everything you need for your lawn, and you envy your neighbors. They would really be upset that look at their lawn and look at your lawn and not their lawn. So during the Memorial Day sale, that's May 13th during May 25th, you save $100 on an EcoPower self-propelled mower kit priced at $649. Even better, get a free 5 power battery with your purchase. That's a $329 value free. When you're there, grab some Micro Grove or organic raising bread and garden soil on sale, 2 for $15. Get the JRC Aceware hardware and get some summer ready today. Boo, did I butcher that? Anyway, folks, Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods, guys, with their brand new location coming to Elmwood Park at the end of October. They already started getting the walls up over there. If you're in the Elmwood Park area, you should go check it out. It's going to be coming soon to your town. Like I was saying, my good buddy John Sirianni will be joining us at about 12:15. And I don't know where he's at. He's a world traveler, so we'll find out where he's at when he comes on the show. I want to thank everybody who showed up last night at Zaza's in Lake Barrington. Filippo and Massimo and their staff do an incredible job. I want to thank Connie. I want to thank Sherwin. I want to thank Mike Pappas. I want to thank Jeff Hunt. Thank you guys so much. Great seeing Captain Rick and Jimmy and Kathy, Jimmy the Suit and Kathy. Thank you guys so much. And everybody else that was there, Allie and Brian and Kathy. Great seeing you guys on the dance floor. And, of course, Daryl Armenstad, the professor, was on fire last night, as always. We're going to keep the party going. Tonight we'll be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse. It's an 8 o'clock hit with Jumpin' Jerry Jams. And then tomorrow, for Mother's Day, if you have no plans, you want to take your mom somewhere, drive out to Lake Geneva, The Cove. Beautiful, 111 Center Street. It's the Cove. It's Ocean's Rat Pack dinner and show. 7 o'clock show. It's going to be a lot of fun with Ocean's Rat Pack. And hope you guys can join us there and bring your mom for Mother's Day. So that's going to be a lot of fun for this great weekend that we got coming up. I went, the last couple of days, last week, I was talking about my hand. When I go to sleep, it was been hurting. It would be like falling asleep on me and stuff like that. So it was going on for like 5 weeks. Excuse me. Then I went to the doctor, Dr. Rao, great doctor, by the way. And did some tests to see, and then he told me to get this brace. So I wear it when I sleep. And I haven't had no problems once I've had the brace on. Now, I have not slept with it off, but this morning I had the actual test done. And they put these little things in your hand, and they put needles in, and they run a test. I was maybe there for about a half hour at Alexian Brothers, and in about 2 days I'll find out if I have carpal tunnel or not. 35, almost 40 years in this business, holding those microphones. It happens, especially to our age. And why it hurts, the guy that was giving me the test says it's signs of carpal tunnel. If you're laying down sleeping and your hand is there and it starts hurting or falling asleep like that, stuff like that, is signs of carpal tunnel. So we'll see. Everybody's got something, right, folks? If that's all I have, and I don't know yet, we'll find out in 2 days to see what happens with that. Well, the Chicago Cubs and the Yankees are doing fantastic. The Yankees won again yesterday. They have the same record in baseball, but the Cubs got a big blow just yesterday. Matthew Boyd, one of their big relief pitchers, or starting pitchers, I think, hurt himself. But the funny thing about it, folks, wasn't during the game, didn't get hit by a ball. He got hurt himself playing with his kids at home. So we don't know what's going to happen to Matthew Boyd, if he's going to be out for the season. They already got one pitcher out for the season already. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Go Cubbies. But now they don't have Matthew Boyd on their pitching lineup. So we'll see what happens with the Cubs on their road trip. Jill, Indiana's, how you doing? Dakota, what's up, my brother? Let's get you on the show coming up. We got to get Dakota on. Let's private message me. Let's get you on for the first week in June. Dakota, a great jazz singer in the Chicagoland area. Ryan, how are you doing? Kim Peterson LeFew. What's up, dear friend? I hope you know Lilia looking well. Dick said, thank you, Dick, and thank you, Dick Alderman of Des Plaines, for your brand new pens. They are the best. So thank you, Dick, and everybody watching. Kathy Eppolito from California, but I think she's in Chicago now. And I want to thank you all for watching. Captain Rick, great seeing you last night. Boyd, like when I was a kid, my dad told me your hand starts hurting, switch hands. Good one. Double T, Tony Toto. We'll see you tonight. I'm sorry. Toto will be with us tonight at Chicago Prime Steakhouse. There's Jimmy Parker live from Nashville, Tennessee. And he's got some great country songs. If you're looking for a good country singer, old country, outlaw country, he's great. Jimmy Parker, man. Google him, Jimmy Parker, just how it sounds. And he's got some great songs and a lot of recordings out there to choose from. You got it, Dakota. You got it, pal. All right. So, like I said, so we took the test for the hand. It's going to take 2 days to find out. But since I've been wearing the brace, I would have no problems with it. So that's pretty good. I'm excited. Illinois, or we call it Hellinois. Illinois got the highest gas prices in the Midwest. The highest gas prices in the Midwest, folks. Just in Wisconsin, I think we had it at 439. I've seen it at 449. We were just up there for 5 days, 4 days, yeah. And but when I got home and I went to one gas station near the house, it was 499, and then there was one down the street which for 519. But the highest gas prices in the Midwest is right here in Illinois. And thank you, J.B. Prickster. J.B. Prickster. The downfall of this state. Look what's happening to Walgreens. A lot of these neighborhoods are losing their pharmacy. They're closing because of people are shoplifting. They're going to start putting those locks on everything. And they're closing some of these stores. They're losing money. This is Walgreens, pharmacies where we get our stuff that we need. And it's just crazy. JB is running everything out of town. We just talked about Morton Salt leaving after 156 years. They're moving. They're closing shop in Illinois and moving to Kansas City. As crazy as it sounds, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. All right, folks. Now, you know the routine. Mondays by myself, Tuesdays and Thursdays is Twisted and Toxic Thursday with Carol Brandolino, and Wednesdays and Fridays we have guests. So coming up and very shortly, a good friend of mine, Mr. John Sirianni. And boy, he's a man of all traits. He wears a lot of hats, this guy. Michelle, I hope you're doing well. And you had, okay, so Tony Toto just got back from San Diego, almost $7. So you know LA, that's a liberal Democratic up there. So almost like Illinois. They almost share the same rules with Newsom. And then look what you got going on in New York City. There you go, Lilia. You spend $650. All right, that's crazy. Mary Grievous is in the house. You know what that means? It's time for the Chicago Music Cruise. You missed the last three. While you're freezing your asses off in January, you want to come to this, baby. January 10th to January 17th. Yours truly with the Tony Ocean Band and Seventh Heaven, the greatest band in the city of Chicago, baby. We're going to go on the sea again. This time we're going back to the Royal Caribbean. Will be a brand new ship called the Star of the Seas. It's going to happen. It's going to be a lot of fun. St. Martin, St. Thomas, Coco Cay, Bahamas, Florida, all wrapped up in 7 days, baby. Go to ChicagoMusicCruise.com, put in Tony Ocean, or there is Mary giving you all the information right there. Better yet, give her a call at 630-688-1725 at NTD Vacations and say, I want to go on the ocean with Ocean and Seventh Heaven 2027 in January. So very, very, very cool. So look, the United States right now, folks, will be revoking people's passports. Why? For unpaid child support. Thousands of parents are in decline of child support, not paying child support. They're getting to the point now where they're not going to pay. Now they're going to take away their passports. So some of these people won't even be able to leave the country. Can't even go to Mexico. I don't know. You don't know everybody's situation. You don't know what they're going through, but still, some way. This is child support. This is your children we're talking about here. Don't be a bust out and do the right thing. That's what it's important. Do the right thing. So who knows, right? Who knows? Crazy as it sounds. Hey, what about our good friends, Jack Vena Landscaping? They offer monthly maintenance programs, bush trimming, spring, fall cleanup, bed mulching, fertilizing, weed control. They've been offering plant design service and installation. They've been servicing the North Shore for over 50 years. Call Tommy at 847-432-5266. That's Jack Vena Landscaping. And if your car is in a crash and you need some help, that's Crash Champions Collision Auto Repair. That's right. Talk to my good buddy at crashchampions.com and take care of your dents and stuff in your cars. And you're looking for produce and meats and groceries and rotisserie chicken and prepared food and more. Armando Supermarkets, 925 Liberty Street in Elgin, Illinois. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods, just like Ace Hardware. our main sponsor, folks. So before we bring John on, because I don't want to interrupt him when he's on, he's a very busy man. We're going to do the weather right now, folks. That's right, the JRC Ace Hardware weather report for today, and let's do it. That's right. It's actually not bad. Brought to you by our good friend Ace Hardware, folks. Today's weather for Friday, May 9th, is 62 degrees right now, 44% humidity, 5-mile-an-hour winds, and finally, no rain in the forecast for today. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 75 and sunny, and I guess Sunday is going to be a little shitty for Mother's Day, 39 degrees, being raining off and on all day on Sunday for Mother's Day. And that is the weather report brought to you by JRC Ace Hardware. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. All right, we're going to bring my guest on. This show has been going now 6 years, Monday through Friday for 6 years. And we are coming to you live from the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page. We're on the Mo Carraro Facebook page. We're on Ocean Spit Facebook page. We're on Twitter. Excuse me. We're on LinkedIn and we're on YouTube. That's how you're watching the show right now, folks. And it's exciting to bring my guest on. This man is a busy man, world traveler. He's an author. He's a motivational speaker. He knows what he's doing when it comes to Las Vegas. And of course, he's got over 750,000 followers on social media. Johnny is in the house. John, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing, my man? Funny seeing you through a computer than in real life. Usually I see you at the bar, you know?
Yeah, well, thank you too, bro. It's different than seeing you. There's no machines, or you're not doing any speaking, or you're not doing your book tour, or you're not doing everything that you're doing. Johnny, you've been around, and you've got an interesting story. I don't know you that well. I know you were kind enough to hire us to do your summer party a few years back, and we met at Chicago Prime Steakhouse and do what you do, brother. So just tell me, Johnny, where were you born, buddy?
I was born at Gottlieb Hospital in Melrose Park, but I'm from Schaumburg. I'm a Schaumburg guy. All right, buddy?
Schaumburg, Illinois. And Johnny, you got a big family?
Yeah, no, my just me and my brother now. My parents both passed, but me and my brother both went to Schaumburg High School. My dad was a football coach there. So one of the things I do on my Instagram, one of my I guess you could say skits that I do, or whatever you want to call it, is I talk about being from the streets of Schaumburg, and it pisses people off when I say, Schaumburg's not a bad city. What are you talking about? I go, don't come to the streets of Woodfield, bro, after 6 p.m., man. You might get got.
You get in trouble, yeah. So, Johnny, I'm looking to follow you on Instagram and your social media pages. You're everywhere. You meet a lot of celebrities. You meet a lot of people. You do a lot of stuff. First of all, you've traveled a lot. Is there a lot of places that you love the best? If you can retire somewhere, where would it be?
You know what, man? If you would have asked me that 5 years ago, I would have probably told you the Bahamas. But the more I've gone there, I've gone probably to the Bahamas about 5 times a year for probably the last 15 years on average. I do love it there. However, it's very difficult to win in those casinos in the Bahamas. So I don't want to be living anywhere close to casinos that you have that hard of a time winning at. I think Nevada might be calling my name, or Florida. We shall see. My son is 18, so he's graduating from Barrington High School in a month here. So this is the first time in my life I'm going to be actually not chained to staying in the city. So we'll see if I stick around Illinois or not. Would you call it Illinois? That I had not heard that. Did you coin that, or is that going around? I hadn't heard that before.
No, I think I claimed it. My buddy Carlo. My buddy Carlo might be made, but we were driving and we just came up with it because it is crazy what's going on. Now, John, okay, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Before we talk about Las Vegas, because I know you're there all the time, I've been to Vegas many times. I performed there at the Riviera for 6 years back in 2000. And but have you been to Lake Tahoe, Reno? Do you like Tahoe or Reno?
Yeah, I was at Reno a couple times recently. Lake Tahoe, that Harrah's right next to the damn ski lift is pretty damn cool in Lake Tahoe. And now they're building a lot. Caesar's Palace, I haven't been there yet, but on the other side of the lake there, on the other side of Lake Tahoe, they got, they call it Caesar's Republic, which is supposed to be a really good golf course and just beautiful. I know they put a lot of money into it. I got to tell you, man, Reno, I'm probably going to, hopefully I don't offend anybody here, but including yourself, but I mean, what a damn shithole, man. Like that place. I was invited to play in this poker tournament with Phil Hellmuth. He does this thing called Poker Night in America, and I went there to play, and it got me to Reno, and we were at the Grand Sierra Resort right by the airport, which that was nice. That was fine. I mean, it was nothing special, but okay, this is like a real Vegas kind of style hotel.
Right.
There's got to be more though, man. Let me go check it out. And now, granted, it was a Tuesday in November that I was there, but I shot over to downtown Reno, like the Strip. And there ain't much going on there, man. There ain't much going on, dude. And again, it was a Tuesday in November. I understand that, but I'm talking ghost town. And Circus out there is owned by Caesars, and that's one of like the premier places. I mean, this is a shithole after shithole. And then you put like freaking Ruth's Chris Steakhouse inside. Why is there a nice steakhouse like this inside of there? It didn't make any sense. It's because there's no nice places here. Now I was told the Pepper Mill's nice. I did not go to the Pepper Mill. And then obviously if you go up to Lake Tahoe, it's a little bit different. But apparently over the last couple of decades, there's been a slow deterioration of Reno because the Bay Area people used to drive over to Reno and Tahoe to gamble. And now there's a few Indian reservations on the way on the California side that you don't have to go there anymore. So I think Reno's probably dying big time, man. And I stay at the Circa Hotel every once in a while in Vegas. If I were to stay off the Strip, it's down on Fremont Street. I'll just say it, man. I think Fremont Street is nicer than Reno, and that's.
I think so too. It was a shithole when I went there, and it was a shithole when I went there. Lake Tahoe was still beautiful with the mountains and everything. It was very, very nice. So, Johnny, your story. You had a company. You sold the company. Yeah. Did you sell the company because you just wanted out?
No. So what happened was I started this. So I was working at Arthur J. Gallagher in the early 2000s. It's a big insurance brokerage firm. They're headquartered. It's an international company. They were in Itasca. Now they're in Rolling Meadows. Their headquarters are right here in the suburbs of Chicago. But big. They're third largest in the world. Very big at what they do. It's corporate insurance. And I pivoted out of there when I was 27 and started my own company on my own. Now, when I did that, everyone told me I'm out of there. I'm like, dude, you got a freaking job. Like, you got to remember, man, my dad is a high school gym teacher, high school football coach. My mom was a preschool teacher. I didn't come from like this business-oriented family, really. Very hardworking people, very smart people, but not necessarily in that business, mindset. And, people thought I was literally nuts to leave Gallagher at a young age when I was on a fast trajectory. Everyone told me I'm nuts, including my coworkers at Gallagher. It's never going to work out. You're never going to be able to compete against the big dogs like them. And I proved them wrong, man. I started that company from my kitchen table. And 9.5 years later, I sold that company into private equity. And I was 37 years old, and it put me in a position to retire. And I got to tell you, brother, it was that one decision when I was 27 years old, when everyone told me they couldn't give me an answer why it was a bad idea. It was just a bad idea. Well, why can't we get these clients to work? No one's going to work with you. Well, why wouldn't they? They're working with me when I'm at Gallagher. Yeah, but you're at Gallagher. Yeah, but so what? I'm doing all the work. Like the 20,000 employees we have here don't only 19,999 of them have nothing to do with their account. I'm the one doing everything. So why can't I just do this on my own and keep all the revenue for myself and scale it? And it just doesn't work. It just doesn't. No one had a reason why. It just doesn't. And well, I didn't believe them, man. And I took them. And it was that at that point in my life, brother, that I realized that the salary that you have, if you're a high performing employee, that's a salesperson that's able to bring in revenue to an organization, that salary and that compensation they're giving you is really just a bribe where they want to give you enough money where you
keep you there.
Yeah. And that's where Gallagher actually messed up. I think they learned, not that they changed their whole model because of me, but we were underpaid at that time for high performers like me. They were more of like kind of almost like a socialist system where everyone was kind of making the same amount and, everyone was sharing in the wealth a little bit. And the mindset was more of like, hey, we're a big team at Gallagher. Well, the high performers are, like any socialist kind of environment. And this is, guys, 20 years ago. So I think they did change that model a lot now. So I was kind of fortunate that, I was a little bit underpaid. I was fortunate because it pushed me to do it. Had they been paying me like $300,000, I probably wouldn't have had the balls to leave and do it. You know what I mean?
At that time, right? But you know what?
You're paying me less than half of that. It's like, F it. I'll roll the dice here.
No,
Yeah.
it's a great story because you took a shot, and there's a lot of
Mhm.
people that will stay at their jobs and they just feel comfortable. And even though they might think it in their head, but until you try, you don't know. And if you fail, you could have went right back and did something. You would have done something no matter what. But then
Correct.
you decided to take on a different thing that you're doing. Now, I
Yeah.
see you in Las Vegas doing what you're doing. Do you remember the first time you made your very first bet? Was it in a casino or was it a baseball or sports? You
I'm
remember the
not making
first?
this.
Oh,
Yes, I remember. You're gonna die because I'm not making this shit up. But how about this coincidence? My parents are in line, checking in to the Riviera Hotel. Okay, I'm standing in line with my brother. I'm 15. My brother is, I think, 20 at the time. And I see the table sitting there. I had already had this all planned out that I was going to try to do it. Now I'm a big guy, guys. Now I'm really big. But when I was 15, I was probably like 6'2", and I
okay.
didn't look older, but I was still had that stature.
Yeah, yeah.
So I took $40 to that damn. I took $40 to that blackjack table. Oh, my spotlight went out there. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Anyways, I took $40 to that blackjack table, and I lost it before my parents even checked in. So some 35-year-old at the table starts yelling at me. I had studied basic strategy. When you hit, when you stay, when you double, and I got stage fright, and I hit when I was supposed to stay. Took the dealer's bus card. A guy yells at me across the table. What are you doing? You just screwed it up to the table. Like, and then I realized he's right. The guy's right. But I got all caught up in the shiny lights and everything. I'm gambling in Vegas. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, brother, as 15 years old, I had that epiphany that most 50-year-olds never figure out, because everyone still gets caught up in the bullshit in Vegas, the free drinks, the hotel room. You're not quantifying how much you're actually losing gambling to get all this stuff. So anyway, I had the epiphany when I was 15, but didn't really do anything about it until about 5 years ago, where I feel like I've developed a pretty good disciplined betting approach, and that's why I get a lot
And
of
you came up
notoriety.
there now. But Johnny, they always say the house always wins.
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
kind of proved them a little wrong on that one. And I
yeah,
know that in some of your adventures, you pissed a few people off, I guess, right? And automatically when someone wins, if you win once, wins twice, whatever it is, all of a sudden, okay, what's this guy doing? What's
yeah,
the eye in the sky in those casinos? Look this guy up. What's he doing? Blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. And, there's a science to it, though, obviously.
Yeah. There's some people that the casino just can't beat. It's a very small percentage. Okay, so there's two terms that you should be familiar with. One of them, some of your audience might already be somewhat familiar with. It's called being an advantage player. And what an advantage player, or an AP, you call it for short, means that the person's card counting or doing something manipulative to give them a mathematical edge over the casino. Because if you learn how to card count and change your betting strategy accordingly to that, you actually can have a small edge over the casino. Well, casinos don't like that. And the eye in the sky is going to catch it almost immediately. If you're a high limit player, they're going to see it because they have professional card counters on their team that are watching.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Right.
and they know it's coming. Okay, let's see if this jerk. See, I didn't swear, Tony. It was a family show. I
No,
don't like
you
to
can
swear.
swear. It's okay. Go ahead.
All right, you see this asshole. Anyway,
Yeah.
the card counter will be there, the one that works for the casino, and I'll be like, okay, the count got to a certain number. If he's a professional count counter right now, he's going to raise his bet, and then we'll wait to see if you raised your bet. And if you didn't raise your bet, you're not a card counter. But if you did raise your bet, they get on the phone almost immediately. They might wait to see if it happens a second time, depending on what the count is. And then if it happens the second time, you get that tap on your shoulder, let's go. And you're banned. And they're going to share that information with every other casino, and you're done pretty much everywhere. They share that information as a courtesy to each other. Now, I don't do that. I never have done that. No one's alleged that I do that, okay? There's a different term, okay? And it's called an unprofitable player, meaning that this person is not an advantage. He's not an AP. But we can't make money on this freaking guy. We can't make any money on this freaking guy. So what they do for unprofitable players is they start just not giving them comps. They don't give them free rooms or whatever. And it's their polite way of saying, dude, go somewhere freaking else. You know what I mean? If you keep going there, like for instance, I did with Seminole Hard Rock down in Hollywood, Florida, They tried to stop comping me. Then they decided that I wasn't going to get certain high limit rules in blackjack that everybody gets. Like they weren't going to let me split aces a second time if I split aces only once. Now, when you go to these shitty little casinos around here, like Rivers Casino, they don't let you do it anyway. But big major casinos in their high limit rooms are going to let you resplit aces. They're going to let you do something called surrender. If you know how to play it properly, it really gives you as the player an edge. And they started pulling that stuff from me. Well, I love going to Hollywood, Florida, the Seminole Hard Rock. It's nice. I kept going and I kept winning. So what do these jerks do? Finally, they just banned me altogether. They go, you know what? You can't come here, period. And it's caused me a lot of issues because they're building a casino in Vegas and at the old Mirage location. And anyway, it's one thing if Potawatomi Casino like bans you. It's another thing if a big organization like Seminole Hard Rock bans you. Now they're not running around saying I'm, an advantage player or anything like that, but they are saying he's definitely an unprofitable player. And then some other little rumors started with other reasons.
And they can kick you out no matter what, right? It's not like there's no case there. You can't do nothing. You can't fight them or anything on this.
Well, Seminole Hard Rock, the reason and people that follow me on Instagram know that I have a hard on for them. And it's not because they banned me for winning, because a lot of other casinos have as well. The problem with Seminole Hard Rock is there are people in their marketing department or someone high up doesn't like me. And they knew if they just came out flat out and said that we know John Sarasani is winning too much, we don't want him here. They know I'm going to make a post about it on Instagram, and they don't want that. Because no one wants to be like the casino that bans winners. Like, why would you want to go to the casino? But the reality is that's exactly what happened. Now, I was literally, Tony, this is no bullshit. I went for over 4 years. I was 23-1 there. Okay, 23 and freaking 1. At the Venetian and Palazzo in Vegas, 18-1. They never banned me. Red Rock Casino, part of Stations Casino where Dana White goes all the time, I'm 15-0. They never banned me. Hard Rock, it's not a good look that they're banning someone for winning, especially when you're only winning what I'm winning. I'm winning like 40 grand a pop, 70 grand, 80 grand. And trust me, that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
Sure, absolutely.
But it was for them, it was the consistency that I never lost. They might have somebody go win $2 million next weekend, and they ain't going to ban that guy because they think they're going to get it back. What they learned from play like mine is I'm never going to give it back. I play too tight and I play too disciplined. So they knew that. So someone in there freaking internally there starts a rumor like implying that I'm involved in like the mafia or some shit like that. And I'm sure. No one really freaking believes that. But what it does is fuels little social media trolls and haters to just go start saying shit. And it's like, dude, anyone that looks into my background knows I'm like a legitimate guy. You know what I mean? But so that's the only reason I post about Hard Rock all the time. Because
that's okay. And John, you put it this way. Also, John, with the Italian last name, if your name was, Johnny Lipschitz or something else, they might not give so much, but automatically they get that thing, and then you're winning what you're doing. But you're doing a lot of fun with that. And you know what? It's a good thing. But it makes you wonder. Now they have changed. Everything has changed there. I know some of the lounges have closed. Why do you see that? I know when they changed to when we ended the Riviera, they were just turning into the family friendly, and they got rid of the old school type things. And Vegas has changed completely. Why do you think that is? Why were they losing money and still are, from what I hear?
Well, so when they all went family friendly, the issue is that it was a great idea. They built like Treasure Island, Excalibur, hotels like that were being built. Okay. Well, during that time, okay, all the Luxor, like you go stay in a pyramid. You're not even trying to attract high limit players. You're trying to attract families with kids. Like Mandalay Bay has a full blown freaking amusement park style wave pool.
Look at Circus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what happened during that time, Tony, was none of the casinos, none of the big guys were making any money. They were all losing money, except one little casino that was crushing everybody, and it got everyone's attention. A small little casino off the strip called the Palms. Okay. The Palms was doing the opposite of what everyone else was doing this time. Hey, were the Maloof brothers, their NBA owners. They had all these celebrities coming in, athletes coming in, they had a pool party. You don't see there's nothing for kids to do there. It wasn't like kids weren't allowed. You wouldn't bring a kid there. There's nothing for them to do.
Right.
And they had a place called Ghost Bar in there. They had the Playboy Club. They had a pretty cool nightclub. I forgot what it was called. What was that club called? I forgot. But so they're killing it. Well, Vegas does a freaking 180 after whatever it was, 7 or 8 years. And that's when you started seeing the commercials on TV, Tony. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Vegas. Correct.
Because they wanted to reverse that psychology that this is the family place. You started seeing these risque commercials, like implying, like they were going. Remember, some of those commercials were like implying, like wives are going there and cheat on their husbands and shit. Like it was like they went as extreme as they could go without saying it. But in the meantime, you spent all these dollars, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars building these damn hotels that were geared for the kids. So now all of a sudden Treasure Island ain't Treasure Island anymore. It's TI. Okay. The stratosphere is not the stratosphere anymore. It's the strat. You know what I mean? So that's just reality. Vegas though has bigger problems than that right now, brother. And it has a lot to do with the emergence of the New Jersey Supreme Court decision a couple years ago with sport gambling. Everyone's jumping on the bandwagon of legalizing sports gambling in their state. These online casinos, it's like the freaking wild, wild west, even when you got, the DraftKings and FanDuels of the world. But even beyond that, you have we call them these sweepstakes casinos. You have offshore casinos. There's just a ton of them now and it's not taboo. It's not taboo, bro. In what fucking world? I'm watching the damn NBA playoffs last night, and you got FanDuel on the court. It's a damn sports book. Is a sponsor of the freaking.
Pete Rose is rolling in his grave right now.
Dude, remember when you couldn't even bet on UNLV in basketball because they were in Vegas? Now you got the Oakland A's moving there, and the Raiders are already. It's crazy. And they got LeBron James in freaking DraftKings commercials. This is nuts, dude. It's nuts. You ever see see Back to the Future 2? Remember when Marty McFly goes back in time and Back to the Future and Biff got a hold of the sports almanac from 50 years earlier and became the luckiest.
All the bets. Yeah.
Now everything's casinos and prostitutes ever. That's real life 2026, man. That's real life 2020. You got the Bally's Casino in Chicago is in the old freaking Baha'i or the old Jewish temple in downtown Chicago. It's a casino.
Downtown Chicago, right.
What's going on?
So when you walk in now, do they still give you that look? The security start coming around, and when you start walking into certain places, or it's just
no. What happens is like, so what happened was because because Hard Rock kind of made it seem like I was involved in illegal stuff, which nobody believes. What happened was that the player development people, the hosts, and those kinds of folks. They all like me. All the table games people, the dealer, the pit bosses, everyone's like my buddy. The problem is compliance. There's a steel wall between the people you actually see and then the compliance people over here. Correct. So the compliance people, if they get wind of something like that, they start asking around. And if I'm up huge on one of these casinos, which a lot of them I am, no one's going to stick up for me on the player development side because no casino host or his or her boss is going to be like, dude, we got to fight for him with compliance. Let's get him to stay because, he's up $800,000 on us the last 3 years. We want him back. They don't have a really good argument internally to make.
They can lose their jobs too. And
it's not a fight worth fighting because they're losing money on me by me existing. Now, So no one wants to put their feet in the stand with the compliance people, and it's fine. It's fine. But dude, at the end of the freaking day, dude, who gives a shit? No one's saying I'm a card counter. No one really believes I'm involved in any illegal stuff. That was just some bullshit. So let's talk about it. Who am I? Where do I play at the most? The Wynn. What's the gold standard casino in Las Vegas? What's the nicest casino in Las Vegas? What does everyone look up to in all of Las Vegas? The Wynn. And the Wynn freaking loves me. You know what I mean? And then I got, and that's my spot on the Strip. Then I got Circa on Fremont Street. And I got Red Rock out in Summerlin off the Strip. I mean, those are I'm allowed to go to more places on that. But if I got those three,
You
Why do
don't
I
need
need-
anybody else because you got the top three. Johnny, what's the difference in the casino like Las Vegas when it comes to betting or rules as it is on a cruise ship or out of the country?
Yeah.
What's
Well,
the
cruise ships are terrible. I would say, so you got to always look at the rules at a blackjack table. So there's multiple things that they could switch to give the casino a house edge in blackjack. Okay, the first thing most people are going to be familiar with is whether or not the dealer hits or stands if he has a soft 17. Okay, so if that dealer has ace 6, is he forced to stand or is he allowed to take another hit? You want him to be forced to stand. You're only going to find that in high limit rooms. In non-high limit rooms, they're not going to have that. So that's what you want to look at first. The second thing is, are you able to resplit aces? Like I said, if you get an ace and an ace, are you able to split a second time and then a third time? So a total of 4 hands if aces keep coming up. It's very difficult to find that outside of, like, at local casinos. Pretty much nobody has that stuff. Vegas, they mostly all do. The ability to surrender, which I talked about earlier. Now, when you start talking about cruise ships or you start talking about casinos that really want to stick it to you, okay?
correct?
Because on cruise ships, you're a captive audience. They don't have any competition because you're already there.
Yeah.
Same with Seminole Hard Rock down in Florida. They do this to their non-high limit players down there too. Like, there's no competition. So you could basically do whatever you want because this is the only place to gamble. And when you're in that environment, you got to be really careful because you might be at a table where they only let you double down if the dealer shows a 10 or 11. Like, imagine getting dealt an ace 4 and the dealer has a 6 and you go to double down and then they point to the felt on the table that says, oh, you can only double down on a 10 or 11. There, like, you're literally supposed to study the felt on the damn table. It's crazy. Another one is if you split, not being able to double down on the hands after you split. But those are kind of like really weak things that really you're only going to see on a cruise ship. Right. The other place you see it is Caesar's Palace. Caesar's Palace is shitty with that stuff. Caesar's Palace is one of the few places in Vegas that has blackjack in the swimming pool, not next to the pool. Like, you can actually put your butts in the water. Yeah. But you're paying for that. Like, everything I just talked about right there is in there. We're filming a session, and I'm friends with all these Caesars people, and it's hey, we should do something out by the pool. And I'm there. It's girls in bikinis with me. We're playing. And I'm playing, like, I don't want to play too heavy, but it's heavy enough. I was playing $500 a hand, which is a lot when you're playing blackjack in a freaking pool. Sure. And, dude, and I'm trying to double down on shit on ace 3, and they're telling me I can't, but we're being filmed. So I'm like trying not to like shit can their brand while we're like live on Instagram. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah,
right
you're playing stupid, right? Because of the filming. But is that the same thing, Johnny? Have you ever gambled overseas?
Yeah, once I did, and I gambled at San Sebastian, Spain once. I was out there a couple of years ago, and I wanted to get my daughter was like 19. I don't remember how old she was, but she wasn't 21, but she was older than 18. So it was our first time gambling. We go, hey, let's go play some blackjack, and nothing's like Vegas, bro. Nothing. When you gamble those casinos, it's not the same kind of thing at all. It's not at all. I think people like literally go there trying to like just I don't even know. It's not a fun atmosphere at all. Not a fun atmosphere.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense now, Johnny. All right, so is this what made you write? Because you're an author now. 2000 Rays. Tell me about that. How did that come about?
So when I after I sold my company in 2015, I had I had to work at the company that bought mine for 5 years. So that took me to the end of 2019. And then finally, I'm ready to enjoy the fruits of my labor here and all this money I made, and like let's go have some fun. And that only lasted for about 3 months, and then the pandemic hit. The flu hit. Yeah, exactly. So
yes,
during that time, we, like everybody else, had a lot of free time on my hands, and I just decided to write a book, encouraging people to rethink their current employment and kind of really simplify the path to going out on your own. I wasn't telling people that you should do it. You're stupid. If you're like, a lot of times people misinterpret me and think I'm like talking down to W-2 employees, and I'm not. What I'm trying to do is explain that the corporate environment wants you to operate and think a different way. Okay. They want you to work for incentives that really shouldn't even be incentives, like the annual conference trip for the qualifying for President's Club, or, working to get a promotion to have a bigger job title when, your salary really didn't really increase much. All they're doing is giving you more responsibilities, but now you get to speak more at meetings. Like these are ways companies manipulate their employees to get more out of them without really any financial incentive, or very little financial incentive. So my book, 2000% Raise, talks about how I saw through that and how I was lucky to see through that. And the epiphany I had that I spoke about earlier when I was 27, again, thanking Gallagher. The foreword of the book actually thanks my former employer for underpaying me, because it pushed me in that direction.
Puts you in that direction.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, they weren't underpaying everybody. The higher, and this is how corporate America works, and everyone needs to understand that, especially in a sales environment, the highest performers that are making the most are actually the people that are underpaid. It's the low performers that are overpaid. Okay, think about it that way, because these high performers, they're making more than everybody, but look at all the revenue that they're bringing in. Okay, and if they were to do that out on their own, look at all the money that they're giving up to that company. So you got to start asking yourself, like at Gallagher, one of the examples I use, I brought in $800,000 worth of business in a year. And it's all consulting and brokerage services. It's a service-oriented industry. There's no product. Us employees are the product. Well, I was making $140,000, which, don't get me wrong, is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But what was I doing to earn that 140? I flipped the script and said, well, wait a minute. What's Gallagher doing to earn that 660? Okay, is that 660 grand that they're keeping? All right, indirectly, but that's what it comes out to. They're keeping that 660. What am I getting from them for that? And for me, the math just didn't add up, and it pushed me to go out on my own. So that's what 2000% Raise is all about. Instead of trying to get a cost of living increase each year, give yourself a 2000% raise and put yourself on top of the org chart.
And that's a great thing. That's a great book. So you guys should check that out. Now, all the followers and everything that you have, John, now you also do a lot of motivational speaking. I know that you do a lot of stuff like that. Do you enjoy that?
I do. I haven't really made a business of it. I do it. You've probably just seen some social media clips, because whenever I do it, I am proud of it, and I end up posting it. But I don't do it as often as you think. It's usually just like somebody. Hey, there's a group of. I talked to 800 eighth graders once, and I've spoken at different business meetings as like not really a keynote speaker, but usually a panelist and things of that regard. But I got to tell you, Tony, that's one of the things. My son's graduating high school this year. I'm gonna have a lot more free time to explore certain things, and that direction might be. It's on the list of one of the priorities.
Yeah, because I think you're very good at it. Will you call yourself an influencer on social media?
Yeah, I think so. You had your numbers wrong, man. We're at like 948,000 followers now.
I got an old whatchamacallit. All right, so that's a lot more. Okay. So you're an influencer.
Yeah.
Are you proud of that? Because sometimes people frown on that. What do you think?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I can hear you now. There you go. You froze for a couple of seconds. Can you hear?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's okay.
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you're an influencer. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I went from being some guy with a kind of a cool story, living in the suburbs, raising my two kids as a single dad. And yeah, I had money and stuff, but like, I was just a normal guy doing normal stuff. And then I started posting about entrepreneurship, and then later about blackjack. And let's just put it this way. My 23-year-old daughter, when she was in high school, I was the same way probably every other dad got treated by their teenage daughter. Like, all right, I was kind of annoying her every time I talked to her. Yeah. Well, I wasn't an influencer at that point. 5 years later, when my son's that same age, this kid's coming over here just to freaking meet me. So.
Yeah, which is a good thing, because you're positive outlook, which I think is very cool. Now you go to these great places, Johnny. That means you're and gambling and other stuff that you do. You're going to run into people. You're going to run into some celebrities. I know you've been some. Now you don't have to do any names, but would you tell me who was the biggest awe when you see the guy walked in next to you, or woman, and you went like, "Holy shit, look who I'm standing next to"?
Yeah, well, there was two actually. One was more just from the gambling world, had nothing to do with the Instagram stuff. It was in the Bahamas one day. I'm at this place called Baha Mar in their high limit room, and I shit you not, it was like the freaking surreal life. Okay, it's like the table next to me is Post Malone, and then while we're playing, and I was betting a lot of there's something. This is why I don't like betting in the Bahamas. Something happens in the air there, you start betting a shitload of money, and I don't know what it is. Like, oh yeah, we're in paradise. Let me bet 10 grand instead of like 1,000.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there playing side by side with Post Malone. And then as we're sitting there, I see security walk in, and Michael Jordan walks in.
Oh,
yeah, man, it was so cool. And I timed it up because I saw him coming, and I knew he was going to stop. I guess as a gambler, so I kind of like stood where I kind of projected he would probably stop. And then we talked briefly. When you see Michael Jordan, you got that inroad because you're in the Bahamas. So what do I lead with? Hey man, I'm from Chicago. Well, okay, so you got a little bit of credibility right off the bat.
Connection. Correct.
Oh,
Was he? I met him a couple of times, but not a very good when it came to downtown at Gillies. He would walk mysteriously. They say he'd walk out of his tab.
Really?
Charles Barkley would have to come in and bail him out. So, but you meet these people. Would you say he was the coolest?
He was really nice to me. Now you got to realize though, it wasn't like in Gillies or an environment like that. It was the Baha Mar high limit room is very exclusive. Like there's not a million people standing around there. Especially when Post Malone was already in there, they're shielding people off. So, he was nice to me. And he noticed immediately that I was betting 10 grand a hand. So whatever, maybe that had something to do with it, whatever. I think just it would have been kind of an awkward weirdness if he was a dick to me because we're only people standing there.
Right.
Well, who was really cool, man? So that was because of gambling, but because of social media, I had put out there at one point my heroes when I was a kid. And you could probably guess them, Tony. So who do you think my top 3 guys were as a kid from Chicago? Who do you think my top 3 people were? We just said one of them. Who do you think the other one was?
Michael had to be a sports figure, obviously.
Yeah, all sports figures I'm talking about. There's 2 others, or maybe 3 others. A football player that's not alive anymore.
Walter Payton?
Yep, Michael Jordan, Walter Payton. And then you won't guess the last 2, but Mike Tyson was the big guy when I was a kid.
Oh, Tyson was great. Yeah, I love Tyson.
Well, Payton's not with us anymore, so I never got a chance. I think I met him when I was like 5 getting his autograph or something, but never as an adult. Jordan I met that time. Mike Tyson, I've actually been fortunate. I met him in passing a couple times in Vegas. But I had never met my 4th one, which is probably number 1 on the list in all honesty, Hulk Hogan. And
love Hogan. Love Hogan, man. But wait a minute. When you're speaking of Hogan, you also got a picture with my favorite.
Okay.
Woo!
Ric Flair?
Ric Flair. Now, I got his book. I got everything about Ric Flair. He was the guy, the horseman, the styling, the profiling, jet flying, the suits.
Dude.
Of course, he's older now. But come on. What was Ric Flair like?
So I met Ric Flair 3 weeks ago. I was at Barry's Steakhouse, which is this really good steakhouse in the basement of Circa. And WrestleMania was in town that weekend. And Ric Flair and a couple other people were in there. And then the people there knew who I was and thought it'd be a good photo op with people that work there with me and Ric Flair. And God, I got to tell you, man, just like when I met Hogan a couple years ago before he died. And that environment was a little bit different because I was friends with some guys that do these they call them backroom deals where they bring a bunch of stuff for the guy to sign and then they go sell it on eBay and they pay Hogan whatever they paid him to sign a bunch of things. Yeah. And these guys followed me on Instagram and knew I liked Hogan, so they just invited me to come and I got to meet him. It was freaking cool, but I ended up hanging out with him for like 2 hours because it takes him forever to sign all this shit.
Yeah, sure.
But the first thing I thought about Hogan when I met him is the exact same thing I thought about Ric Flair when I met him. That they're going to be a lot taller than they actually are. Now, I don't know for sure with Ric Flair, but I do know for a fact with Hogan, I'm 6'4", maybe 6'4.5", 6'5". Hogan is allegedly 6'7", and I had him by a couple inches. Now, I'm told he's had so many back surgeries over the years.
That's what I heard too. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah. Okay, so your opinion. Yeah. Flair or Hogan, best wrestler ever?
Brother, come on, man. Listen, here's the deal. You know why you like Flair, bro? because you're probably about 10 years older than me or so, and Hogan wasn't around yet. By the time Hogan came around, you were freaking 18 years old and you were over it. So all you had when you were a little kid was fucking Ric Flair, and I don't blame you. But when Hogan came
Johnny,
out,
wait, here's something you don't get. I always liked the heels.
Okay.
I didn't like the baby faces. I always
liked
it.
Heels. All right. Yeah,
I like it. I was with the Pistons and the Knicks when everybody was with the Bulls. You know what I mean? So that was just me. And
you got Netflix?
Knicks are 1-2 games up. Knicks are up 2 games in the NBA. Okay. So let's hope they go 6. Knicks and 6. But okay, so Hogan was cool. Flair was cool. Who else?
Yeah. By the way, just let me add this in. There's a Hulk Hogan documentary that just came out on Netflix, and it's fucking awesome. Have you seen it?
Fantastic.
Awesome.
What I like about him, he told the truth. I mean, Johnny, look, put it this way. Look at some of the stuff that you going through at your level.
Yep.
Imagine someone like a Michael Jordan, a Hulk Hogan, a Michael Jackson. I mean, right? I mean, they'll watch every move, everything he says. You know what I mean? He made wrestling.
Brother, you know what's funny about you saying that, dude? When his wife was talking about how they had no privacy in public and all that stuff. So I started dating a girl in December. And like my social media presence it's at the highest it's ever been, especially like right now in the last few months.
Right.
And we've been dating and we go to casinos a lot. Whenever I go to casinos, people coming up to me left and right. And she was making that analogy, but I'm not even comparing myself to the fame of Hulk Hogan.
No, but I know what you're saying. Right.
But it was like it was like relatable when the wife was talking about like that. And it got me thinking, like, at every little scale, bro, there's a piece of that, you know, like you know, there was this guy named Billy Deck that owned a few nightclubs in Chicago that were very popular about 20 years ago. And I just remember whenever I'd see him out in public or whatever, there'd always be people coming up to him because he was the cool, like, restaurant and nightclub guy. And so like at every level, there's an amount of fame where, you know, you lose your privacy a little bit. But then once you get to that tier of like Hogan or someone like that, shit, forget about it, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, was there anybody you met that was like a big jerk? And you don't have
not really. The only story I have like that is and I'm sure he doesn't even remember this or whatever, so I hesitate to even say it. But I was in this venture capital deal out in Los Angeles with a small startup company, and it ended up not even doing anything. But we were having this party, Super Bowl weekend out in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills of this thing. There was about 50 or 60 people there. And one of the partners of the celebrity partners that we brought in to be part owner is a guy named Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett.
Basketball, one of the best. Yeah.
I don't know why I said a guy named Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, all right.
But it's because I was going to talk about the founder, which you wouldn't know who that person is. So I'm just an investor. The founder's the founder, and the founder wanted to, like, you know, have Kevin kind of on display there because there was also prospective investors that they're trying to bring in, and, you know, maybe we could raise more money by him being there and whatever. Well, listen, Kevin went to Farragut High School, graduated in 1995 in Chicago, Illinois. I graduated in 1995 from Schaumburg, Illinois, which these two are about an hour from each other, less probably. And he was the top basketball player recruit coming out of high school. I was the top football recruit coming out of high school. I went to play tight end at Notre Dame. So I know about this meeting, man. I know he's going to be there. And in my head, I'm going to share this story with him. And, you know, he's going to think that's kind of cool and whatever. By the time we actually talked, and I was with another guy that are like LA types that are around celebrities all the time. And when me and Kevin actually talked, it was like, he was like so over it, you know, it was like, whatever, you know what I mean? But I remember saying it to my friend after. He was like, yeah, that was cool. He goes, was he nice to you? Yeah, he's nice to you. He's a good guy. But, like, I thought he'd be a little more interested in the fucking story I just told him about us both being from Chicago, you know, me football and him basketball.
Yeah.
And he's like, brother, and this probably happens with Jordan with their Jilly story too a little bit, because it's like, you got to remember, everybody came to him that day one by one with whatever their significant little story was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's all he's hearing all fucking day. So it's me. Hey, I went to Schaumburg. I was a good football player. He's probably like, Okay, just like
Okay.
that guy's fucking cousin. Where's my jersey? Or they,
Yeah,
wish,
right. All right. What do you want me to sign? Yeah, exactly. Uh,
So it hit me a little bit different. Now I didn't have any street
yeah,
credit
well,
back
no,
then.
yeah.
Maybe now with social media, like I would have a little bit more of a swagger to me on that.
Right. You'll be getting, somebody will be telling you a story, John, soon. My first bet. You're gonna go, okay. We're almost running out of time.
Whoa,
Wait,
whoa!
go
You'll
ahead.
like this story real quick. Then let
Go ahead.
me counter for all the haters out there that are gonna make fun of me about my Garnett story. I'm in a celebrity poker tournament a few weeks ago at fucking the Wynn. All right, and there's this golf. I don't golf, but there was this golf thing too. Justin Timberlake, Michael Phelps, all this shit. So we're sitting there watching the foursomes and they're rotating it. We're at one hole. Let's get out of here. It's kind of hot out, whatever. And I look to see who was coming up next. And I said, you know what, dude? Urlacher's in the next foursome. I've never met the guy. Let's see if he notices us. We'll go say hi. That golf cart pulls up, dude. Urlacher sees me. We've never met before. He goes, yo, I follow you on Instagram. Starts making this big fucking deal about it. And I'm like, oh, hey, man, what's up? It's trying to be all cool and stuff. Oh, hey, nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah, nice cool. That Urlacher. That's a great story. And another story which is interesting. It was we're going to talk real briefly about Chicago Prime because we're at 1:00.
Yeah,
but of course, the great George. You met a lot of different guys, a lot of owners and managers of different restaurants. You just got to love George, and he's definitely be missed. I love AJ. AJ is doing a great job keeping it going with all 3 locations. But we talked about George, and even that nice post you said about George. And Chicago Prime. But you were in a back room. It's Christmas time. And you said you brought me into a back room and you were having dinner with 10 guys, 10 people. And it was, what's his name? What's the guy's name from the TV show? Urkel. What's his name? What's his real name? Yeah, that's a very nice guy, man. Oh, it was a sweetheart. It was a sweetheart. But, every time you come in, you're always gracious to everybody there, Johnny, and you're always gracious to me. Thank you so much for your time. And we got to go. But what is what's next for John? What's next, real quick? What's your next move?
We'll see, man. I don't know. I just signed with this agency out in Los Angeles. That's one of the big players, and they want to do their non-scripted department, which means potential reality show or something along those lines. So we shall see. I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now, though. I got to be honest with you.
That would be cool because what we see on Instagram is pretty cool. So if you actually had a show to watch, John, I wish you the best, man. John Sirianni, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, guys.
You have an incredible day. Have an incredible weekend, guys. We are coming to the end of the hour. Don't forget tonight, Chicago Prime Steakhouse with Double T. Tomorrow we'll be at the Cove in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, everybody. A lot of other good stuff coming up. Zia Social next Thursday, a brand new Italian restaurant. I'm excited to be there and more dates coming up. But remember, let's talk for birthdays real fast for Friday. May 8th, ladies and gentlemen. Natalie Lane, a great saxophone player in the Chicagoland area. Happy birthday, Natalie. Kevin Owen, for all you wrestling fans, 42 years old. Owen Hart, the late Owen Hart, another great family from the Hart Foundation and that family, a great guy. Enrique Iglesias, 50 years old. The great Don Rickles would be celebrating a birthday. Opened for Don many times. Great guy. Harry S. Truman, former president of the United States. Melissa Gilbert, 61 years old, from a little house on the prairie. Steve Lukather from the band Toto. Of course, he also plays a lot with Ringo Starr, 68 years old. Former X-rated porn star Tracy Lords, 58 years old. Mike Tafoya, formerly of the Bees and the Boys. Happy birthday. Michael Badea, the son of Greg and Jennifer from Taverna. Michael, happy birthday. My buddy Hanson, happy birthday, my buddy Hanson. And the most happy birthday to my good pal, Mr. Ron Onesti, celebrating his birthday today. Ron, I'm sure you're having a good time with your family, doing what you do best. Ron Onesti, happy birthday from your friend here, Ocean's Pit. I want to thank you guys for watching today. And again, I want to thank John Sirianni. Check him, follow him, 900,000 followers. He's a down-to-earth guy. He worked hard at what he got. He did what he did, and he does what he does, and he tells it like it is. And so follow him on Instagram, John Sirianni. Thank you, John, again for being on the show. We'll be back on Monday, folks. But remember, let's thank our good friends from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local. Hi, everyone. If you're ready to get your backyard summer ready, you got to head over to JRC Ace Hardware right now. Through May 12th, they got a red hot buy on the Blackstone Iron Forge 4-burner grill. That's $479.99. But you take 25% off the Blackstone griddle accessories to complete your setup. If you prefer a classic flame, how about the Weber Spirit E325 gas grill on sale for $499? And don't forget, Ace Reward members get free assembly and delivery on all grills, $399 and up. Stop by the JRC Ace Hardware and tell them Tony O sent you. Go to jrcacehardware.com. And don't forget to tell them to grill your ace off. Buy that new grill and get it ready for the summer season right around the corner. Again, I want to thank you all, everybody. I want to wish you all the mothers there a very happy Mother's Day, and hug your mom. I'm going to see my mom on Sunday. We're taking her out to Tom Steakhouse for a brunch in the morning, and then, of course, we'll have the family over here for Laura, of course, and Nina, her second. This is her second. Will be her second Mother's Day, and Angelica, of course, her first Mother's Day, and Jess, her first Mother's Day. So, again, tonight, Chicago Prime Steakhouse with Double T, Tony Toto. Tomorrow, The Cove with Oceans Rat Pack in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Dinner and show, 111 Center Street in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Buy local, shop local, support local establishments, support live entertainment. Be kind to one another, folks. It's important. If you're offended with anything on this show, doesn't mean you're right. Doesn't mean we're right either. But thank God we can still have an opinion and still laugh and have some fun. And I hope I made your little hour of fun, or if you're watching it now, or if you're watching it later in the day. Thank you so much for watching. Ringo Starr says peace and love. We need it more than ever right now. God bless you all. Have an incredible weekend. See you back on Monday, same time, same station. Nick Sahaj is the piano man. Take us out.
Time to go. It's the end of the show. See you later from Tony O.
God bless America, everybody. And thank you so much. You have an incredible weekend. Peace. Bye-bye.